So hello everybody and welcome back to Axela Gamers, gaming pickups for June. So this month was interesting because I got a new handheld, I got a few more games for the Switch actually, and some older releases that I've been wanting to pick up for a while and finally did, so let's get to it. I want to start right away talking about the Switch games, I believe, because yeah, I haven't done that in quite some time. Like, not just on the channel, but in real life. I keep forgetting about the system, even though it's a really good one. Really just waiting for Splatoon 2, I guess. So, first game I got for the Switch was Puyo Puyo Tetris. I pre-ordered this game actually back when before it came out, and I was going to buy it. But the thing is, I have a story with Tetris. I was super addicted to Tetris on the Nintendo DS. I played that on a DS Lite system. So much that I actually sold the entire system and the game because I couldn't own it anymore. Then I played a lot of Tetris on Facebook as well, which yeah, got quite out of hand as well. But that was back when I played World of Warcraft as well, so it was during breaks or yeah, in between sessions of playing World of Warcraft. So I never played Tetris on Facebook as much as I did on the DS. The DS one was crazy because I could bring it everywhere. I would play that before I went to bed. I would play it during my rides to school, back and forth. Yeah, good times. But yeah, too much Tetris. So this is interesting because this is not just Tetris but also Puyo Puyo, and it's supposed to have a story mode of some kind as well, but I only played this online so far, and I'm having too much fun with Tetris again. This is very much like Tetris on the DS, but with even more content, so good stuff. Very happy about this pickup, but I will try to keep playing more releases as usual, and keep myself updated with games and releases in general to not get as addictive to one single game again as I did with Tetris DS, because yeah, got pretty out of hands. But that's a multiplayer game, and so is this one. This is ARMS, new IP from Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch. It's similar to the boxing game we had back on Wii Sports, the launch title for the Nintendo Wii, but as a full-fledged game, I wanted to say, but I can't really say that. So here's the thing. Pre-ordering this game and waiting for it, I was expecting the gameplay from Wii Sports, the boxing game, but like much more fleshed out. That's what I got when I played ARMS during the Nintendo Switch press event, which I attended, and the game feels very good to play. But as a full game, like when this finally was released, I realized how this is missing a story mode. It has some really good characters. You can see them on top here at the back of the box. Like very, very nice designs, and when you start the arcade mode, which is just a few fights and then you're done, at the start of that mode, they actually give the character some personality, but that's like less than a minute of like text in the game. So very weak title when it comes to like the things that I really like in games nowadays. Not just story, but like content. I guess content is the word that I'm looking for. This has a bunch of modes, but it's, at the end of the day, it's a fighting game, really. And play this to get great and have a lot of fun doing so. But if you're gonna play this alone or wanted to explore a new Nintendo IP of colorful characters and things like that, then you might want to wait for ARMS 2, because I guess that game is going to be a lot more fleshed out. Last game I got for the Switch was Cave Story Plus, and this is beautiful for many reasons, really. Cave Story I wanted to play for the PC back when it was released over 10 years ago, I think, if I remember correctly. a good friend of mine, Niklas, um, he he shares a lot of passion for games that I like as well. He played the original Xenoblade, the Ys series, and yeah, many games I really like. And so he said that I would absolutely love this game on the PC. But the thing is, I have always had a hard time going back to PC ever since I quit World of Warcraft. So this game was released on the 3DS, and I was going to buy it, but for whatever reason, it was crazy expensive. Quickly went up in price, and it got really out of hands when it comes to like buying it on eBay and stuff. So I never got Cave Story on the 3DS, and then they actually made an enhanced version for the Switch, which retailed at like 30 euros, included shipping. So this was a must buy for me to finally try the game out. And with the game as well, not just the awesome reversible cover here, or just inside. It's not really a cover, so I don't want to call it a reversible cover, but there's a lot of artwork inside Switch games that it's just so awesome to see. We also have a mini disc. I guess this is some kind of like music CD in one of those like GameCube shaped discs. So pretty cool that they fit that in here, as well as a instruction booklet. And yeah, very cool stuff. This is just not a for instructions, but it's a bit of story as well, similar to NES manuals with artwork and like a little bit of story in the beginning there, and instructions as well, of course. So really cool stuff. I just think this this release of the game was worth the wait. Not intentional, of course, but I'm like not getting to play this on the 3DS wasn't too bad, because I'm super happy to have this edition of the game. And the game so far, I like it. It reminds me of Undertale in tone, like in graphics and music, and also character designs, somewhat. But it plays more like Metroid, or I want to say Contra, but not really. It's a side-scrolling like action game, I guess, with guns. It's not very much like Metroid in level design, but in gameplay. So there's that. I will talk more about the game when I finish it, of course, in one of those videos. But so far, I just want to say that Cave Story Plus, I'm impressed, and I'm having a great time playing that game. Last time, or last game for the Switch is a game I got digitally, so I just want to pick up my Switch here and see if I can show you if I'm not in the middle of a title running. I don't know. No, I'm not. So yeah, here we go. The game is called Mighty Gunvolt Burst, and yeah, it's one of the games that I finished in June. So you'll hear me talk about that game in my next video. But yeah, it's a... No, I didn't get any good artwork or anything booting the game up, unfortunately. But yeah, Mighty Gunvolt Burst. It's a 2D remake of Mighty Number 9, basically, with the same bosses, music, and main character, obviously, as Mighty Number 9. You can also play as the guy from Astro Strike Gunvolt, but you're still fighting the bosses and playing the stages from Mighty Number 9. And if you watched my Game of the Year 2016 video, you might know that I actually really enjoyed Mighty Number 9. It's a game I'm a huge fan of that game, and I really don't get a lot of the hate that the game got. So playing this game brought back many good memories, and hearing all the songs again, and yeah, I had a blast with the game. So happy to get that. That was only 10 euros also, getting the game digitally. So yeah, a great pickup for the Switch. If you're like me and don't have too many games on the system, I think that's a really good choice to get there. So moving on from the Switch to the other current Nintendo handheld, 3DS. I didn't buy any game for the 3DS, but Mario actually got a new 3DS console, and with the console he got a bunch of games where one was a duplicate of a game he already had, and that's Pokemon Omega Ruby. So this is interesting. I got this from him because like he didn't need two, obviously, and thank you very much for that. But what I want to tell you guys is that even though this is a Japanese release, and as you can see by the title, which looks really amazing compared to the overseas Pokemon logo, I always loved these titles. This is cool, not just because I used to import Pokemon games back in the day before they went for worldwide releases. Ever since Pokemon X and Y, these games have been released worldwide the same date. So of course I just go and buy them here in Sweden and not import them anymore. So I've been missing out on these Japanese releases for the Pokemon games, but because they are released worldwide at the same time, every cartridge for the Pokemon games since X and Y have both Japanese and English voice, or not voice, but text options. So I can play this whole game in English, which I think is pretty awesome. I have my tricks to get around the region lock, so I can play this on all of my 3DS systems. And yeah, there's in English is pretty cool, like really awesome. Because since I already have Alpha Sapphire and I really wanted to replay that game, I might as well just play this one. So very happy to have this. Thanks again. So yeah, let's see. PlayStation 4, 2 games for the PS4. First up is a game I missed at launch. This launched at the same time as Zelda, and I had to pick one. I know, or I thought that they both would consume a lot of time. I ended up playing through Zelda pretty quickly. In less than 3 weeks, more like 2 weeks. I actually did, not 100%, but I took all the shrines, I did everything that I wanted to do in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But the game I'm talking about is Horizon Zero Dawn, and I skipped this game because I picked Zelda instead. I started playing this game, and yeah, what can I say? I really enjoy this more than Zelda. I think this is the better game, but that's yeah, that's up to everyone, really. I can't say for sure until I beat it, of course, but my first impressions with this game, excellent stuff. This also, back when I choose Zelda over this, I really thought this was a more of a fantasy game, but it's a lot more science fiction than I thought. Surprisingly, because coming from the trailers and the little footage I had seen before I got this game, I thought that it was just the enemies that were like robots and mechs, but you actually get like mech armor and gear and traps and stuff in this game. So yourself and your arsenal is like really science fiction based as well. Looks really, really cool. And with the PlayStation 4 Pro enhancement, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen. So yeah, good stuff. I need to talk more about this game. But as far as pickups go, I don't know what I can say. Just so happy to finally have it. I got it for a good price. This was less than 20 euros. So yeah, I knew I had to have it. So I also got like this steel case edition, so looks very nice. On the inside you can see like some other art from the game here. The main character, Aloy. I guess it was Aloy. I always thought her name was Aloy, but yeah, I can't really remember. I think it was Aloy. But then there was also some art cards which came with the steel case. So yeah, some art from the game, or rather concept art, I guess. This character right here, I'm not too familiar with. It could be concept for what she was supposed to look like before the final design, or it could be like somebody else in the story. I don't know. But these cards are awesome. You can see some of the environment and yeah, other things like that. So pretty cool stuff. I I'm impressed by the game. That's what I want to say. That a game that I first thought would be like a worse Breath of the Wild turned out to be a really, really interesting and impressive game in many, many ways. So, yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, people. Good stuff. The other game for PS4 was a release, actually, and this was a game I had pre-ordered and I had every intention to buy day one. And that's Valkyria Revolution, called Azure Revolution in Japan. This is a game I played 3 beta tests of, and the first felt a little bit weird, but then again, Valkyria is one of my favorite series, and the first Valkyria Chronicles game is my favorite love story in a video game, so I had like strong feelings for the Valkyria series, and Valkyria Chronicles 3 is one of my all-time favorites, so very excited to play this. The second beta test was much better, like really impressive. It had some of the like best moments of the game, I guess, because it felt amazing. And then the third beta, I guess demo, but the third one was basically the beginning of the game, and so you didn't have as much like power-ups and things like that, so that was not as impressive. And that's pretty much how far I played in this game, the retail version. I played as far as I did in that demo, so I haven't seen like what's happening after that, and that's what I want to do now. This is the game I'm playing currently. But the thing is that, like, so far, I love the characters. The voice acting is good, and like the graphics is more similar to a Vita game than a PS4 game. Very much like Trace of Cold Steel. So if you played that game on PS3 and thought that looked like not too good for the console, always remember that like all of these games are available on the Vita, and you can play this on the Vita as well. It's only released digitally though, unfortunately. But I mean, I don't mind really. I love the artwork and the characters and the music. The music in this game is phenomenal. Actually, it's one of those soundtracks I listen to before playing the game, and I keep doing so. It's more similar to the other Valkyria games or Final Fantasy Tactics, and like calm music like that, orchestral, more than other video game music that I usually listen to. But still very, very good stuff. And with this limited edition of the game, you got a soundtrack selection. So very happy to have that. So, moving on to the handheld I got another Vita. So this is the Japan import Vita Slim. So this is the Vita 2000 or Vita Slim, and it's a white console, as you can see. The box just says white. I heard Glacier white and stuff like that before, but yeah, this is just called white, and it's interesting because the whole console is white. I've seen variants where like the buttons are black and things like that, but this is all in white color, so I think it looks very clean. But the story behind this one is interesting because I had no plans on buying this, really. I had not. I had been thinking about importing a Japanese Vita because my modded PlayStation TV, my modded Vita, and my Japanese Vita TV, they all use circle as the confirm button because of the modifications, and that my Vita TV is from Japan. So my Vita Slim, which I use for all my physical games that I buy, because I can't play those on my modded system, that system was the only one out of the 4 that used cross as confirm. No big deal, really. And so I had no plans on importing a system. I mean, just for that, never. But at GameStop in a town not too far away, pretty close by, I was there just browsing their games, and they had this. Very surprised because this is the Japanese system, and yeah, you usually don't see that in the wild. So So my plan was that if I could buy this, I wanted to see if I could get rid of my older system, and a good friend of mine actually bought that, and at the end of the day I didn't have to pay too much in between these two, so this was more of a trade than a buy really, but a great pickup, and I'm very happy to have it. So so I got rid of my black Vita Slim, which was I guess in better condition than this one, but it's no big deal really, because a Japanese system is what I really wanted, and I mean, it's in pretty good condition anyway, so no big deal really, but very happy to have this. And at that same GameStop with the console, I got 2 games, and it's very funny, because because I work at GameStop myself, I know that these 2 titles are games that people don't buy every day, and when people do, they always look so embarrassed, because it's those, like, pervy games, I guess. And here I am, I just go into the store and I see a Vita, I say, I want that system and I want these 2 games. I must have looked like such a fool. But these are the games I got. So Galgun and Senran Kagura Estable Versus. And really, this I didn't want to get for like those reasons or anything. This I was interested in because it's made by the same guys who make the Rockman Zero series, who then went on to create Azure Striker Gunvolt and yeah, Mighty Gunvolt Burst, the game I talked about for the Switch earlier. But this is not a side-scroll action game with like Rockman-like aesthetics. This is a on-rail shooter with some very weird story elements and like gameplay mechanics. I cannot explain how this game works without sounding like too off for this channel, I guess. So feel free to look up like a trailer or something, or just take a quick look at the back of the box here. It might tell you enough. But even though the introduction for the game was quite embarrassing, I kept playing the game to see if it like had more to it. Because the Senran Kagura game on 3DS that I played actually surprised me, because that had a lot more going on than just stupid stuff. I liked the story and the soundtrack was kick-ass, so high hopes for that in this game as well, but I'm sorry to say that that was not found here. I didn't finish the game, but what I played, the story got more interesting the more I played, but it was not top tier material, so might finish it someday, but not very high priority right now. So the other game is, like I said, Senran Kagura Estable Versus, and like I said, I enjoyed the game for the 3DS, Burst, and the sequel to that is apparently non-canon. So after the 3DS game, they went on to make Shinobi Versus and then Estable Versus for the Vita. So this is the 3rd game in the series, canon, I guess. So yeah, I'm excited to play this for many reasons. Mostly the soundtrack, but I heard the gameplay gotten better since the original game. But I don't know what I want to do with the Shinobi Versus, like the second game in between Burst and this. I could download it on my hacked Vita, or I could buy it digitally. I'm not sure. But I think this is impressive, because I always looked at this game as a PS4 game, but it's on the Vita. So I mean, that's so awesome how we nowadays with the Switch and the Vita can like take full console games on the go and play them. It's just so very amazing. So happy to have this, but I will check out Shinobi Versus somehow before I open this up, just so you know. And the last game for today, that's Fate Axela, the Umbral Star. This is a Muso game, and in previous videos here on the channel I showed that I got Dragon Quest Heroes 2 and Berserk Muso, of course. So I already have 2 games that I need to finish in that genre. So I felt like I shouldn't have bought this, but this was only 15 euros. Such a good price for a game that I actually, back when this was released, I was really tempted to get it. I started watching the Fate Zero anime last year, which was really good, surprisingly good. I enjoyed that series so much, but I watched it together with a friend, and I have not finished watching the series because we will do that together eventually sometime. But the Fate universe is interesting because the anime, as I said, it was really good and I liked it. So I'm sure that I will like this game too. I started and played it for like 2 hours, I believe, and I got a really good impression of it. It's not your typical Musou game. It has a lot more story to it, and the characters and the music is like very good. It's something that I really like. However, what can I say? The original Fate game is a 140-hour visual novel, as far as I heard. So this and the anime is just things that I've been doing because I felt like I want to get into the IP of Fate, but I just try to avoid the visual novel, I guess, because I like the style. It's just too much to play that big of a game at first. So I want to like get my own quick impression of Fate before I really delve into that huge visual novel. This is supposedly also a sequel to a turn-based RPG on the PSP. I don't know too much about that, but I have, like I said many times during this video, I have a modded Vita, which I play all of my retro games and stuff on nowadays, so yeah, I might give that a shot as well. I think it's called Fate Extra. So yeah, we'll see about that. But happy to have this, especially for such a good price. This is going to be released on the Switch as well, so if you're interested, this could be one of those games you might want to play on your Switch. But for 15 euros, I felt like the Vita version will do just fine for me. So that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching as always, and yeah, until next time, get gaming.